Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. In today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be answering questions that I have been avoiding. I feel like I'm pretty open on my channel and like Instagram and all of that, but there's definitely a few things that I don't tend to talk about or I try and avoid a little bit. And today I'm spilling all. So if you guys like this kind of videos, if you like to see me uncomfortable, then let me know in the comments. And if you do want to see more, then give this video a thumbs up just so I know that you guys do like this sort of stuff and I can definitely do more. But yeah, I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me some questions and yeah, I had a quick little look and there's definitely a few things that I don't tend to talk about too much, but I am going to be talking about today. I've got some makeup with me as well. I'm not going to do anything too crazy. I just want to put a little bit of makeup on, kind of like an everyday sort of look. So while I'm answering questions, I will also be doing my makeup a bit. I can't put this off for any longer, so let's get into the questions. Am I going to regret this? I might. I think I'm just going to start at the bottom and work my way up until I've basically done my makeup, and we'll just see how far we go along. So the first question is, this is from Luce, and it says, your least favorite YouTuber. I'll be totally honest here, and by the way, I'm going in with my fave. I love that it's my fave, and I barely even know what it's called. I'm going with the Glam Glow Moisturizer and the Drunk Elephant Bronzy Drop Stuff, just to prime. I'm shaking. I'm like weirdly nervous about doing this video, but my least favorite YouTuber, to be honest, if I don't like someone, then I won't really watch them. So I don't even know if I necessarily have like a concrete answer, but I will tell you what I don't really like, and that's like family channels. Not just because like, you know, I'm not the target audience, but I feel like specifically, I don't even know their names, but like American big family channels, I'm like, I understand the interest to an extent, the same way that I understand, you know, people want to watch anyone, you know, you guys want to watch me. I don't understand that interest, but apparently there is. But yeah, some of these family channels, when they like film their kids having tantrums and they film like the ins and outs of their life, like I put quite a lot of me online, but my personal life is my personal life. And don't get me wrong, like if Ollie and I did a video, or if I like brought all the different people in my life to do videos and like drag them in, I could probably do a lot better. In terms of videos, I'd have, you know, a lot more, I guess characters. That's like a weird way of putting it. So like, I get that you do better, especially on a family channel, if you show kids, if you like, you know, have different things going on in your life. But sometimes some of the things that I see, I'm like, your kid is gonna hate you for putting that on the internet. Hang on, let me get my concealer. Just going in with Tarte Shape Tape. I don't know, I feel like this generation, like my generation, and then, you know, I don't even know what it's called. Like, I'm not a boomer, am I? I don't know what I am. Can someone tell me what I am? I'm 28 years old. What am I called? Am I like Gen Z? Am I a millennial? Am I a boomer? I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go with these kids, like being exposed to all this on the internet and people being able to have opinions like on someone's like 5-year-old because they've got an audience of like 1 million followers or more. A lot of these people have more than that actually. But yeah, that for me, I'm like, it's not the content I would typically watch anyway. But I just think like if my parents had all this footage of me, like having tantrums, maybe I've peed myself, maybe I'm like, I don't know, ill, or like all these videos. Like sometimes I'll be in like the back of people's videos or people get photos of me and I'm like, God damn it, you know, like that's on the internet forever. But when you're a kid and when you're growing up with that, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like that is, there's gonna be a selection of people, like a younger generation that, you know, the same way that our parents probably won't understand, you know, cyberbullying and stuff like that. They're gonna go, well, don't read it, you know, don't worry about it. It's just on the internet. And I feel like the generation now that are like kids that are growing up with, you know, they've got iPhones by the time they're like 7 or something. I'm just like, there's gonna be some issues that come up with that. That's gonna be a whole new thing that I'm not even gonna be able to understand, even like as someone that does this job. Yeah, so I don't know, there's like no one there really is no one in particular that I necessarily hate. I'm trying to think if there's like anyone I really don't like, but I think most people have their place on the app. And like I said, if I don't like someone, I just they won't even cross my mind. But yeah, that's like a section of YouTube and YouTubers that I'm just a bit kind of like, not saying I don't like you, because I don't know you, but yeah. Oh my god, I've already screwed up my makeup. I forgot to do my eyebrows first. How's that looking? I can barely even see my face, to be honest, so we're just gonna have to hope for the best. I feel like that was such a long-winded answer. Someone has said, what was the TV job? I think I can talk about it. I mean, nothing bad will happen if I do. So, I did, if you guys watch my vlogs, I had an audition, or quite a few auditions actually, with a TV show, and it was The Circle. A lot of you did guess that. And I think I got pretty far. Like, they don't necessarily say exactly how far you got, but I was in like one of the last like rounds auditions or whatever. I had auditions with, it was first of all with like kind of like a scouting company. Then they sent it on to the associate producer, who I then had an audition with. Then they actually sent it off to, no, then I had another audition with the actual producer. But it was basically for, because The Circle is now like the American Circle on the US, but they were doing kind of like a mix of some UK, some US, because I think the Circle building, even though it's a US program, it's still filmed in the UK. Just using my Refi Brow Gel. So yeah, it was for that, and I basically said that I was going to go on as Ollie's dad, who was like 75 years old, and he's a boat builder, and he's super Cornish, and I thought that would just be the funniest person to catfish as, because I'm like, I could go on as myself, and I feel like if people got to know me, they would quite like me, but also I'm like, who likes an influencer? Like, if you don't watch influencers and YouTube and stuff, who actually likes them? Everyone complains about influencers, and especially when you're a girl and you do makeup and, you know, you've got the hair extensions, you've got the long nails, you've got the lip filler, all of that. People are going to assume instantly that you're just like stupid, a bitch, I don't know, vain, all of the above. And so I thought, okay, maybe even though I like to think that people would like me once they got to know me, that ain't the name of the game. So yeah, I was going to go in as Ollie's dad, and I had to send in pictures. I had to do like an interview or multiple interviews. What else did I have to do? I sent in some videos. So I sent in all my weird like Ladies Man 69 things that I do. And they basically said that like, they came back and they really apparently liked me for the show, but they just said, you know, it's just not this time around. So, you know, bit gutting, because that is like my dream to go on. Some of you guys will know this as well, I once auditioned for Big Brother, and I actually got to like the final round in that as well. I basically got through all of the auditions. It was just a case of like the producers actually deciding who was going to go on. And that was quite a few years ago, but I always loved the idea of going on a show like that. Granted, Big Brother, you know, wasn't what it was, but I've always just wanted to do some kind of social experiment TV show. Like, this is before, you know, people obviously look at that sort of thing and think, oh, they want clout, they want fame, they want all of this. I'm like, I even said to the producers, I couldn't care if this was ever put out to an audience. I'm like, I just want to experience it. I want to be locked in a house with a load of strangers or by myself and just have people play games with my mind. So yeah, it's the second time I've done an audition and it didn't work out, but it's fine. Don't get me wrong, I was a little bit gutted about it, because, you know, you're going through all these auditions and I'm there thinking, I'm never going to get through. And then I kept getting through. So I was like, oh my God, imagine if I actually go on The Circle. So like I said, if Netflix ever watch me, if you ever want me on, 30 years time, hit me up. I am 100% down. Please lock me in a room with strangers. Someone then said, have you ever had beef with a brand and not told us the story? Let me just get my products here. Yes. Not beef as such. It's like, this is a story I could actually, not necessarily me get in trouble with, but it's like a can of worms if I spoke about it all properly. So I'm not going to say who it is, but I'll tell you the story. So this was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, actually, when I think about it. Oh God, I put too much of that on. Oh no. I'm using the iconic London pigment stick, by the way, in Icon 4. So yeah, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I was growing quite quickly on YouTube, and I basically was asked by this brand to go to a party, and there was like a little meeting thing beforehand. So this is quite early on to when I had management, but I'd actually been in contact with the brand before, and we'd spoken a little bit about this, so it was kind of like a crossover. And I basically went to this event, and beforehand they were like, you know, meet the team, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about this. And so I went up to London and, you know, went to the party and met everyone beforehand, and it was all sweet. Oh my God, that's so bad. Oh no. Basically, at the meeting beforehand, they pretty much said to me, we really want to do this. We love what you're doing on YouTube. We think you're great. You know, all that sort of thing. And we'd love to do something with you. And I was like, you know what? I would love to do a collection of like eyeshadow palette, maybe like a contour and highlight duo or something, and maybe a lip product. And they were like, yeah, that sounds really good. You know, we'll get the ball rolling. We just wanted to meet face to face and, you know, see what your thoughts were on stuff. And it was all very exciting. And then had the event, had a great time. So I think like a couple of weeks passed and there was like a couple of emails back and forth, and the owner of the company was actually DMing me privately. And at this point, seriously, what is my makeup right now? At this point, I had management, but it was like quite early on. So we were sort of bridging the gap and playing catch up with everything. So a couple of weeks passed and we got an email and they basically said, you know, following on from our meeting, we would love to discuss this more with you, like on more of a one-to-one basis. So, you know, can you please come to London and come to the offices and we will, you know, discuss. And it was pretty much, because I'd had some DMs on Instagram from the founder and they had said that basically they wanted me and they really wanted to do a collection with me. And it was pretty much the way everything sounded and the way management had looked into it, everything, it was looking pretty damn promising that I was going to be doing this collab. And obviously at that point I still hadn't, you know, my Ofra one was my first one, so I hadn't had any collab like that before. I was very, very excited. So I went up to London and we had the meeting, there was like 4 people. A couple of them I already knew, and then like the founder. And my manager was there as well. And this is not my current manager, but my manager at the time, and still is, one of my really, really close friends. Like she was manager first and then we just got on so well. So, you know, had a lot of love for that girl. But we were basically there discussing business, and basically what it came to is they were sort of like, we're not going to pay you until we know how much you can make the company, essentially. You know, I was very much just sort of like, I don't really care how much money I make from this. Like, I really want to do this collab. So I wasn't, you know, going in thinking, I'm going to be rich. But the same way, you know, I had 250,000 followers, probably more on YouTube alone, probably like at least 300,000 altogether. And, you know, this is my job. You know, you can't pay bills with bronzers, highlighters, whatever. So, you know, I went in with the idea, and this is how a lot of things work, that you're going to, you know, get some kind of money for literally making products and putting your name on it. That's like a given. That's literally how business works. But yeah, they basically said like, no, we're not going to pay you. We just want you, like, basically when you sell a certain amount, after that, we will then pay you. And so my manager, who was obviously my friend, not only wants the best for me personally, she's also looking at it in terms of a business way. So she's like, you know, we don't basically work for free. And we'd had conversations before and everything about, you know, what did I kind of want to do, blah, blah, blah. And I sort of said to her, I'm not really too fussed about the money side of things. Obviously, you know, compensation a bit, or like, you know, every time I sell something, you might get like a commission or something. But I was like, I'm not doing this to, you know, a get rich quick scheme. I'm like, no, I want this to be a really good collection, and I just kind of wanted to do it. Like, I wasn't too fussed about what I got in terms of compensation, but like I wanted a bit, you know what I mean? So that was a bit of a red flag. Just gonna go in with my Laura Mercier powder. So then I don't know at what point all of this kind of unfolded. Like, I don't know what made it escalate like this, but basically the owner of the company, and there was one other person there, like, that was involved in this, they basically very snidely, it wasn't like super direct, but they were very, very snidely sort of saying that my manager, they were basically trying to like separate me and my manager like on the spot then, and basically like talking to me and saying that essentially my manager doesn't have, you know, my best interest at heart, and that what they're asking for is unreasonable. But yeah, they were just like pitching us against each other, and my manager was like welling up, and she is like she is tougher than me. Like, I would not want to get in a fight with that girl, because she's like, I'm like, I know you will kick my ass. So she's like, she's tough, but it was like really getting to her because her job was like everything to her, and she was basically being almost like backed into a corner, and it's like they were belittling her and in front of me, and it was just a really uncomfortable situation for her. She was basically welling up a little bit and going quiet, and I think in the end we just sort of were like, you know, we'll have a think and we'll talk about this, or like email and all that sort of stuff, because by that point I was just like, if they're treating my manager like this in front of me and they're wanting me to have a collaboration with them, but they're not wanting to pay me in any shape or form, I'm like, this isn't good. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't good business practice. It's an hour into our first meeting and I'm getting bad vibes. But yeah, they were just snaky, to be honest. Like, they were so bloody snaky. And this, I could honestly do like a whole ass series on this. It's actually really kind of complicated, and there's loads of different situations that kind of happened. But yeah, that happened, and I sort of said to her, I was like, you know what, dude, it ain't gonna happen. Like, unless they turn around and they've got a good freaking explanation or something, or they make it up to us somehow. I was like, no. So I didn't hear from them for a little while. I then got an email personally. So even though I've got my management email that everyone like sends their business stuff to, I got a personal email basically saying there was a miscommunication with, you know, us and your management. And I was just sort of like, okay, you know, they're acknowledging the fact that it was an awkward situation, but, you know, what do you mean? Because they were saying, you know, miscommunication. And I was like, what do you mean by miscommunication? You know, what are you trying to tell me that we apparently, there was like a disconnect or something? I cannot remember the words exactly. I've got like screenshots somewhere, but they basically said that my manager just was making things awkward. And I'm thinking to myself, no, she was making sure that I was, you know, had the best kind of outcome. So I sort of said, we can hop on a call, like let's do like a Skype meeting or something. I was like, I'll talk to my manager. And they said, and this was actually through DMs as well, because it got very weird at one point, because it even, sorry, this story is so complicated. Just gonna use Too Faced bronzer. But like during the back and forth as well, they were DMing me, like their personal Instagram was DMing me, and they were also hopping on my lives, and people were like, oh my God, Steph, so-and-so is in your live. And I was like, oh, hey, how are you? And they were basically saying, can't wait for our collaboration, and it can't wait for you guys to see what we've got coming up. And I'm thinking, I haven't said anything. Like, we haven't, the last time I heard, you just said there was a disconnect and you wanted me to have a meeting with you. So like on the live, people were like, oh my God, Steph, are you doing a collaboration with so-and-so? And I was like, 'cause I didn't know. So I was like, you know, we're talking. And that was the truth. But they were like, yeah, I can't wait for our collab. You guys aren't ready. And I'm like, I'm not ready because I haven't actually, we haven't even said like go or anything yet. So that was, when I think about it now, because even though I wasn't naive then at all, like I've always sort of had my head kind of screwed on with that sort of stuff. But the more I think about it now, I'm like, that was them trying to manipulate me and basically get you guys to think that I was doing this collaboration. And if I didn't, then some of you guys would have been disappointed. So it was putting me in a very awkward place. So yeah, that was a bit weird. And then this is like why I have screenshots and stuff, because this person was then DMing me at like 12 at night, 1 in the morning, which don't get me wrong, I will sometimes email people at like that time, but I'll normally schedule the email for like 7 in the morning the next day, just so I'm not bombarding their emails or DMs or whatever at, you know, the middle of the night. But yeah, I was getting DMs from this person, and I got it quite often. And one of the DMs was literally like, we can work this out. We really want to do this with you. And then it was like, you're amazing in capital letters. There was literally like one message that was like, we think you're amazing. We want to work with you. You are brilliant. You are amazing. Like, I'm not even like exaggerating. I could probably actually put that on screen because it's not gonna be bad or anything. But yeah, it was a very weird sort of message that was like, you're amazing, we want you. And they were messaging me constantly and emailing me, and I was like forwarding it on to my manager and saying, they've messaged me again, can you contact them, blah blah blah, because I can't work with anyone, even if I don't want to, but even if I wanted to, I can't work with anyone unless they go through my management, because I've signed contracts with them. And I was saying to them over and over again, you know, can you please direct this to my manager? But I was just sort of like passing it on, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, they just kept going through me. And at one point, I think this might have been through DM at like 11 o'clock at night or something, but they basically said, can we sidestep your management. So when they said that as well, I was like, no, you are a slithery little sneaky snake. And I told my manager, also my best friend, I was like, dude, they keep messaging me. They said that, you know, they want to sidestep my management because they basically didn't like her. And they realistically saw me as a cash cow because I was like, had super high engagement then and all of that. So they were trying to get in on someone who was growing fairly quickly. And around that time as well, I basically just said, like, I don't work with anyone unless it's through my management. And, you know, if they wanted to basically sort anything out, they had to go through my manager to do it. And obviously nothing for a very, very long time. And then 3 months or so later, I got another DM from this owner. And again, it was like late at night and they were like, when we should pick this up, like we should pick this up again. You know, we really think this could be good, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, of course you think it's going to be good because you want me to make you products and put my name on it and promote it and probably do all these different like stories, Instagrams, whatever. And you don't want to pay me for it. And you also don't want my management to be involved. So they've got the whole like legal team. They can make sure I'm safe with everything. But they, you know, of course they wanted to work with me because they weren't going to be losing out on anything. You know, they were just going to be making money off of me, my name, whatever. And I think I might have actually just ignored that message or because I definitely ignored a couple of messages because some of them were just like, it was just like, I don't know if they were drunk. Like, I really don't know, allegedly. I don't know what I need to say to like cover my ass here. But I would get messages like this periodically, just like every so often something would pop up or they would hop into my live and be like, can't wait for this. And again, people would be like, oh my God, Steph, you know, what is this secret? And I'm there like, literally nothing is happening. But I don't want to turn around and be like, this person's a liar. Sorry, guys. I just kind of wanted them to just not... But yeah, they would just carry on messaging me and not messaging my manager. And sometimes I would get the odd email like, let's pick this up. And I'd be like, contact my manager. They never did. And so kind of from then on, I pretty much just like ignored the odd message that I got, or I literally just kept saying, contact my manager, and literally just like giving them her email address. And obviously nothing came from it because I also know that this company is... There's so many things I could say, but it's not my business to talk about. But I know people who have worked for this company that have had the most traumatic experiences with this company / this person. I've known creators that have been paid like nothing or have been like owed their money and not ever really gotten it. I've known people that have had legal issues with this company. And to this day, I still get people asking about, you know, what happened with this? When's it going to happen? You know, would you ever work with XYZ? And I'm just not. Career-wise, it would probably be an incredibly, you know, profitable move. Even if I didn't get paid anything, but if I did it like for the exposure, that would probably be worth a lot of money in terms of the amount of, you know, my name would be out there, my face might be out there, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just like, okay, number one, you made my manager / really, really, really good friend cry, so you're a dick. Number two, you're being weird and like a bit snaky and just gross. And then number three, you're actually, the whole company is just kind of, I don't know how I should have even spoken about any of that. Because now it's like, everything I said was fine, but people are going to have a lot of questions now. People are going to assume a lot of things. But yeah, it's been years later. I've got like foundation all like on my lips, and I know that they haven't really changed. So yeah, kind of glad I dodged that bullet. Someone then said, God, I knew a lot of these questions would come up. Is there any animosity between you and Ofra now? There hasn't been any nastiness or anything unprofessional. The person that I worked with, I understand that like they had close ties to this person. So they did unfollow me, which, you know, sucked because I really, really liked them. But yeah, that's kind of like the only animosity really. They unfollowed me and they never messaged me because like they were going through me privately when we were sorting out products and stuff, just because it's a lot quicker. Like my management were dealing with all the business stuff, but they were coming to me for like a couple of like creative things, like what do you think of this, what do you think of this? And so yeah, they've never contacted me again privately. My management sorted everything out. I think I had my discount code taken off and like the product is still being kind of wound down because they had a lot of stock. So the collab is like slowly coming to an end. But yeah, like for me personally, there is no animosity, and hopefully, you know, there isn't really on their end. I imagine there probably is a little bit because you get, you know, someone with almost 500,000 followers saying that they're ending a collab. I get it. But like, on my side, I'm like, no, you know, it is what it is. I still like everything that happened. I still like the people that I, you know, worked with and spoke to. It was just a situation that I didn't like, that I didn't have to be a part in. So I just wasn't. And yeah, the fact that they obviously unfollowed me, I'm like, okay, that sucks, but like, it's not unexpected. Ofra still follow me though, like the actual brand page themselves. They hopped in a few of my lives after the video. I wasn't sure if it was just to kind of like check to see if I was saying anything or bad-mouthing them or whatever, because I wasn't. But yeah, on my side, everything's all good. But I don't think it's like totally okay on their side, which is also fine. But yeah, not really. Like there's no real tea. Like the tea is like, it's not really tea, it's just like a little bit of like leftover tea. I'm trying to make like a metaphor here. Yeah, not really, to be honest. Kevin then said, are you a bitch and not a girl's girl? No. Literally, like, all of my friends were all exactly the same. None of us will ever bitch about anyone. Like, we'll have, like, a conversation. Someone might say, this happened, and this was my reaction. And I'll go, okay, that's fair enough, whatever. But no, there's never any bitching. And then what they said about, are you not a girl's girl? I actually am. I'm, like, not a girl's girl and not a boy's girl. I'm literally just, like, I don't care. I'd probably say I have more close guy friends than girlfriends. But it's probably like 60-40. It's not like I only have one, you know, girlfriend. But I think obviously as well, because Owen and I have been together for so long, some of our close friends are like, some of my close friends are Ollie's close friends. So that's kind of how it works. I've had a lot of people assume that I'm just like not a girl's girl, but it's not that I'm not a girl's girl. I'm literally just like, I'm not either of them. I happen to be friends with probably a couple more, like in terms of like best friends, a couple more guys than girls, but it's literally like 60-40. Yeah, I don't prefer either. It's just how things have worked out. I'm not sitting here thinking, I have too many girlfriends, I need to get some more guy friends. I'm just like, listen, if I like you, if we're friends, like if you're a guy, okay. If you're a girl, okay. So like, no, I'm not a bitch, and no, I'm not a girl's girl. I will get along with anyone. Mariam said, did you have to pay anything to end your Ofra collab? And no, I didn't. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to or not. But yeah, no, I didn't. That's why I basically said as well, like the stock that they have, they can still sell it. I don't get any commission from anything that they sell. I don't think my discount code with them works anymore. But yeah, no, I didn't have to pay anything. Tanya then said, is your setting powder collaboration cancelled because it was going to be with Ofra? Yes. Like, it wasn't just a setting powder either. It was like, we had a lot of ideas. Oh, that setting powder was so freaking good. And it wasn't even finished. Like, the powder that we made, I'll use it off camera all the time now. And I don't know if I'll, like, keep one or something, I don't know. But we had quite a few back and forths with it. And it was like if Laura Mercier and the Huda Beauty powder had a baby, but it was more lightweight and less matte. That was it, and it was amazing, and I love it so much. So I think maybe I'll keep it and just like use that as a benchmark to when I make my own powder one day. But yeah, there was like a whole selection and collection of things that we were working towards doing, which is why it was also such a bummer, because I was so excited about everything that we were going to do. But yeah, the powder was really, really bloody good. Like, Ofra products are good. Ofra products are so good, regardless of anyone's opinion, mine, anyone's, about the company or what happened or whatever. Can't knock how bloody good the products are. And that setting powder was so freaking good. One day, guys, I'll bring out just the most amazing powder. Someone said, sex with Ollie, ? Yes. And then Charlotte said, have you ever experimented with the same gender? No. People, I get this question all the time. Just anytime. No, I haven't. I kissed a couple of girls when I was younger. Not for any, like, it was just like dares and stuff. Like, that's sort of as far as it kind of got. Yeah, not for me. I appreciate girls. I think girls are great. I think most of the time, girls are better looking than guys. Sorry, guys, but like, girls put in effort. I'm like, I appreciate you with your clothes on. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Thanks so much. I'm sure it's great, but yeah, not for me. I'm sure you're great. I'm sure you're a wonderful human, but yeah, no. Samir then said, do you come from money? I do not. My parents always worked. I think that's where I got a lot of like my work ethic from. My dad has worked at the same place and worked his way up to like the top of the company since he didn't go to college. I was the first person in my family to ever go to university. My mum had like, she was working in a bar, and then she was also, I think she had like 1 or 2 cleaning jobs when I was younger. She then worked at the tax office for a couple of years, which sounds like you'd make a lot of money, but you're dealing with a lot of money, but you don't make a lot of money. And she was doing cleaning on the side of that as well. And then she eventually worked as a receptionist at a family company that was just like a landscaping one, basically. It's like, it's not around anymore, but she was doing that. So yeah, no, it didn't come from money. I never like went without. I wasn't like in poverty or anything. Yeah, like my sister and I, we were treated at Christmas. And, you know, we never went without things, but it was like, we never went without, but like my parents would have gone without for us. But no, my parents worked their asses off. So many people are saying, when you come back to Twitch, hopefully soon. I know I just like fell off Twitch at one point. I think it's because basically that was at a time when my mental health was not good. And so going live, it's very daunting going live because I can edit, you know, things. If I suddenly feel like shit, I can edit that out. But obviously on Twitch, you're just live and you have to kind of, you know, engage with people. And again, it's a lot of like mental effort, you know, just to kind of keep that going. So I think I just stopped doing it. And I really do want to come back, not as much as I was before, because I think that was just too much and not kind of attainable. But yeah, I will be making a comeback basically as soon as I feel ready. I'm just sort of waiting for the day where I go, okay. And it's nothing to do with actually like Twitch itself or the people on Twitch. It was more so just the fact that it was just a lot. And with lockdown, you know, lifting and everything, it's been strange getting used to life again. You know, I've got people to see and like people I haven't seen in ages and things to do. And, you know, if I've got a couple hours free, like I said, I'm going to be doing that, realistically catching up on the people that I haven't seen during lockdown and catching up on different work things. But I will genuinely be back because I loved doing Twitch and being a Minecraft pro. If you do want to follow me on there, it's totally free. I will leave a link to it down below. And yeah, I'll let you guys know as soon as I know that I'm coming back. But trust me, I will be back. I'll be back. Okay, my camera is now flashing. I might have a couple more questions left in me. I'm like flinging everything around. My camera died. I'm back. I was just doing my lippies and it died. Okay, so the question I just started answering was, did you buy your car and new house outright? Car, I did. The car wasn't brand new. It was, basically the story with the car is I wanted a new car, but I wasn't in any kind of rush at all. And I was not expecting to buy my dream car, but I basically was on Auto Trader one night and I had a couple of glasses of wine. I was just scrolling. I think while the kettle was boiling for a cup of tea or something, I was scrolling and I'm not gonna be able to talk while I'm doing this. Let's do freckles first. Just gonna use some of my Freck. But yeah, I was scrolling on Auto Trader because I was looking at another car. I was looking at a Suzuki and then there wasn't really anything there because I was just kind of like window shopping. I wasn't actually gonna buy anything. You know, there was nothing really there. So I was like, oh, I just wonder what, you know, what's going on with Jeeps at the moment? You know, what's for sale at the moment? Let me just get an idea of pricing, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I have an idea. I've wanted the car that I have, the exact one, exact body kit, everything, since 5 or 6 years ago. So I was having a look and, you know, I was just scrolling, just going, oh, that's nice. Bloody hell, that's expensive. That's nice too, I like that. And I got to like page 5 and I scrolled down and there was a picture of the exact car, the exact body kit, the exact color, it was matte, everything, and I was like, oh my god. And the price wasn't actually as bad as like what they go for new. And then I continued to look at it, and this is why I mentioned me having a couple of glasses of wine, because I looked at it and I was like, am I just looking at one of those like ads where it's like single girls in your area? Because it said it was 3 miles away. And I was like, no, we don't get cars like this down in Cornwall, no. And so I slept on it, woke up the next day, it was still there, and I thought, okay, what's going on? I messaged my dad, and I was like, Dad, what do you think of this car? Can you have a look into it? Because I don't know much about cars. I was like, Dad, can you, tell me, is this worth me looking into? Like, is this actually legit? Because, what's going on here, basically? And so he passed me on to my uncle, and my uncle basically said, turns out that's one of my best mate's cars, and he's selling it. And I was like, what are the odds? Literally, like, they live a few miles down the road from me. And so, yeah, I went and saw it, knocked a couple of grand off it, which was cool. And his daughter actually followed me on Instagram. So if you're here on YouTube, then hello, how you doing? Yeah, it was like a very sort of small world, random kind of situation that I was just sort of like, I either get it or I don't get it. And I know that if I saw that it had been sold or whatever, I was not going to find a car like that for that low mileage, that price, down in Cornwall as well, because normally you see them like up in London and stuff, which is obviously I'd have to get up there. It's like, you have to factor that into the cost as well. It was literally like the perfect car. And yes, I did buy it outright, secondhand. So like, don't think I'm that fancy. Like it's a bit fancy. It's a bit of a flex, but I didn't go, it wasn't brand new. But yeah, I did treat myself and I love it and I have no regrets. But yeah, I haven't looked at my bank balance for a while. I'm staying clear of that. And then in regards to the house, I wasn't sure which house you meant. Like the house that we're in now, is rented. It's like privately rented from another one of my uncles. And so yeah, we don't own this house, but the one that we're building, you know, we don't own it now either. We own the land that it's going to be built on, but obviously like there's nothing to own right now. There's no house or anything. And we will be getting some kind of mortgage or some kind of loan or something. We're not going to literally just be like chucking money and building this whole house. So we'll probably be doing like half of it or something. So either way, to answer your question, no, we don't own this house and we don't own the house that we will build because it hasn't been built yet, but we do own the land that it will be built on. And some of you are asking about that as well. Hopefully soon. Do you have any collaborations coming? No, actually. A couple of companies we're talking to with like potential, but it's like there's no contract signed or anything like that. So there's a couple things up in the air, but no collaborations planned. Someone said, how much money is your house that you're going to build going to cost? No idea, quite frankly. If you've got the land and everything, like building the houses is usually a lot cheaper than if you were like, if we had, like if the house we were going to build was just sitting there already built, available to buy, it would cost a lot more than if we were to build it, which is why we've like held out for building as well, because we're like, well, we can get more for our money than, like this house, for example, we could buy this house or we could spend the same amount of money and build an even bigger house. So that's why we're basically just taking so long, because it is, oh my God, it is a lot. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. But that's why we've basically not got our own house now. We're still renting, nothing wrong with renting, but we've just been waiting for that to happen, because when it does work out, when we do eventually get to build our house, our money will go a lot further. So yeah, no idea actually, to answer your question. Absolutely no clue. Ooh, okay, the question that everyone also asked me, do you and Ollie want children? A lot of you already know my stance on this, but I'm just gonna just say it. No, we don't. And it's one of those things where I've said no my whole life. There was probably like a window of like 2 months when I was like really, really young, when I was like, oh my God, get married, have a family. And I was like, I don't actually want kids. And people think it's because I like detest them or anything. I've got a godson who I get so excited to see him. I am obsessed with him, but I don't want them. Ollie doesn't want them. And I already know what people are thinking. I already know, especially like, you know, a slightly older generation will sort of say, oh, you're only young. You know, you might change your mind. And I'm like, you know what? I might. I can't say for certain. You know, I couldn't say 110 million% that I will never have a child, because shit, if I did, imagine if they then watch this video and I'm there like, I don't want a kid. But I'm as sure as I can be about this kind of thing. No, we just don't want them. And people always say like, you know, like I said, you're going to change your mind, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, if I do, then I'll change my mind and I'll be the first person to admit and go, you know what, I did change my mind, fair enough. But like the older I get, the less I want my own. But yes, no, if I change my mind, I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong and I've changed my mind, but I haven't changed my mind yet. Someone said, how do you feel when people constantly ask about babies? It's more like, it's fine, because like I said, there's no issue. There's no like, it's not upsetting for me to talk about or anything like that. So I'm more than happy to say no. So I don't really feel any kind of way when people ask me. It's more so like, if people ask me and I say no and then they go, okay, I'm like, thank you. But it's when they turn around and go, you're gonna change your mind. Oh, why don't, oh. Like literally someone else said, why don't you want children? No shame, they're hard work, but why not? Who is the rudest celebrity you've ever met? I used to do my lips. I'm like wiping off my lip. Why am I doing that? This is like the longest I've ever taken to do the most basic ass makeup. Okay, so there's not really any drama here, but I was in London once with Tumblr, London Fashion Week, and I can't talk when I'm doing this. Basically, probably the rudest celebrity I've ever met. I've met like Anna Wintour, and don't get me wrong, she was cold, but she was friendlier than this person, and that person, and I hate saying it because I'm like, oh God, what if I see them one day, and what if they're never gonna know who I am? But yeah, Alexa Chung. I met her at a after party at London Fashion Week. I was 20, maybe 20, and we went to this party, and she was there, and the person that we were with at Tumblr was like, this is Steph, this is so-and-so, and it was loud, and I turned around and I was just like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Like, I didn't really say much, because I'm also a bit like, shit, I wasn't expecting Alexa Chung to be there, and like, I've never really been like a fangirl or anything, but I was still like, there's Alexa Chung. And yeah, I was like 20, I'd only ever been to London a couple of times, so I wasn't well versed in these sort of fashion-y kind of events and situations, let alone meeting an actual celebrity and them going like, hi, and I'm there like, hi, how are you? But yeah, I was sort of like, hi, I'm Steph, nice to meet you. And I think I said like I liked her outfit and stuff. And then she was just looking at me and she's like, if you turn to the person, I remember her face, she was like, why aren't they talking? And I'm like, what do you want me to say, man? I've asked how you were, and I'm like, I've told you look nice, but we'd only just gotten there, nothing had happened. She was like, why aren't they saying much? Bear in mind, we were in like a really, really loud club. And yeah, she was just like, why aren't they saying, like weirded out. I don't know what, it was just a very odd situation. She was like, why aren't they saying much? And then basically just sort of like kind of walked away and was just like, as if like we were weird for not having a full-blown conversation with this person that we didn't know, that we weren't expecting to see, that we literally just met, who happened to be a celebrity. So that was a bit weird. That was quite a strange situation. To be honest, any of the celebrities that I have met, I could do one of those videos where you like rank celebrities. Let me know if you guys want me to do that, because I have met quite a few celebrities. Not necessarily like, not like busy mates with them or anything like that, but I have met quite a few over the years. I met Debbie Harry from Blondie, which was, oh my God, okay, I know I said I don't fangirl, but coolest person I've ever met. And all we really said was hi. And I just like fangirl for a second. But yeah, I met her, cool dudes. I met Anna Wintour, Ice Queen, definitely Ice Queen, but also very polite. So yeah, I've not really had any like rude experiences with any celebrities as such. It was just, that was probably like the rudest it gets, which I guess is pretty good considering, because it really wasn't that bad. It was just a bit like, chill. Ballpark figure of your bank accounts. That is one thing. I could be working in a pub, I could be like a millionaire, billionaire, I could be literally have like a tenner in my bank, and I don't think it matters. Like, it's not something I'm necessarily like avoiding in a sense of, oh, you know, I don't want to talk about like my money as a YouTuber. It's more so just like, if you asked me that on the street and I was just working, you know, any job, I was working at Starbucks or something, if someone asked me that, I'd be like, I'm not telling you, like, piss off, I'm not telling you how much money I have in my account. So yeah, like, in the nicest way, mind your business. To be fair, like, I did ask you guys to ask me questions that I've been avoiding, but that one I will continue to avoid just because it doesn't matter. It's like, if it makes you happy, I'm not a millionaire, far from it, but I'm comfortable. And then Katie said, I think this will probably be the last one, I've got like dry lips. I don't even know how my face looks right now, actually. But Katie then said, what work have you had done? Teeth, plastic surgery, cosmetic treatments, skin, etc. I have had, I need to like look at my face to remind myself. So I get Botox, as you guys know. I've had, okay, if I tell you all the things I have had done and then what's kind of like still lingering. So I've had chin filler, jaw filler, lip filler, cheek filler, nose filler, Botox, under eye filler. That's a lot. Anything else? I had my eyebrows microbladed. There's like a tiny, probably the tiniest little tint underneath that you can't really see anymore. You can probably see a couple of hairs, but I haven't had that done in a while, and I won't now because my brows have fully grown out. But yeah, I had that at one point. I had composite bonding on my teeth. So people have actually asked me as well, these are my teeth. I had a comment in one of my previous videos actually where they were like, could you not afford to do the rest of your teeth? You can tell which ones are stuck on or something. And first of all, I'm like, but these are my teeth. Like none of my teeth would come out. There's no like layer all over my teeth. It's basically like the same way that if you need a filling, your teeth will kind of be like prepped a little bit. They're not gonna be like drilling them out completely, but your teeth will be prepped a little bit. and then they'll put the filling in. It's kind of just like a filling on like the edges of your teeth to make them just look a little bit smoother. I had some bumps like around here, and I had a couple of teeth that were a little bit uneven, and so I think I had it on like 5 or 6 of my teeth. And then I also had whitening and Invisalign for like 9 weeks. But these are like all my own teeth. If I took away all the bonding, you probably wouldn't notice much. It just, they wouldn't be as even and smooth. They maybe like, one might be a little bit like this. So they've like added a little tiny bit here and filled in a couple little gaps. So that's what I had done to my teeth. Surgery, the only surgery I've ever had was getting this mole removed. Can you see that there? I might just like hide my face. Hello, but I can't see the camera. Okay, can you see here? I've got like, it's like a square scar. Kind of goes like that almost. And I basically had, it was quite big mole actually. It was maybe like the size of the end of a pencil, and it was like right here. But it wasn't like a normal mole. It was like quite dark, and it was almost like not bleeding like blood, but the actual border of the mole was kind of just like bleeding out over time a little bit, and it was growing a bit and getting a bit bigger, and I would get like this shooting pain in it sometimes. And this was like years and years ago. I think I was in secondary school. But I went to the doctor, and they were like, okay, let's get it checked out. Sent me to a specialist, and I was with my mum, and they were basically like, it's fine for now, but the way it's going, like it might not be fine, and it probably won't be, basically, you know, in like 5-10 years, whatever. So they basically just said, you know, while we've caught it, it's fine right now, but we can take it out. And so I got put to sleep, and I had surgery on my hand there. They basically, obviously I was asleep, I don't really know what happened. So basically what they did is they just kind of cut a little flap in my skin and then stretched it over pretty much. And it actually does feel, I only just noticed it actually, like it does feel a bit tighter where the skin's obviously stretched and where I've got the scarring, because there's not as much like elasticity in my skin, I guess. But yeah, I had stitches here for ages, looked pretty gnarly. But that's the only surgery I've had. The only other thing I've had is I had one of my wisdom teeth taken out. I don't know if that counts, but like obviously I'm guessing you're talking about like body surgery and stuff. I haven't had anything. It kind of scares me, if I'm honest. Like at some point I probably will have something done to my boobs. Like as I get older, I'm not in a rush now, and I don't necessarily want to go bigger, but like at some point I might have like a lift or do whatever I need to do at that time. I'm not like opposed to it. But yeah, I'd rather not have silicone in my chest. It kind of makes me cringe a little bit. I'm like, it's funny me saying that because I'm here with like filler and all that in my face, but actual silicone, I'm like, or like bum implants or whatever, I'm just like, no, I'm good. And also the idea of like, you know, before I had filler in my nose, there's a couple of little things I would like to change about my nose. And again, like I said, never say never. But I also don't want my face to be like smashed in with a hammer or whatever it is they do, and have to have like black eyes and stuff for ages, and it doesn't heal for a year. So I'm just like, I'm good. Again, not opposed to it. Might change my mind one day. Might go, actually, I would like some rock hard tits up here. But yeah, it just kind of freaks me out, because like filler you can undo, Botox only lasts for like 3 to 6 months. So if I wanted to, like my teeth, it's not all like, I haven't had my teeth ground down or anything, they're all my own teeth. So if I wanted to go and resort back to like Steph pre any of that, I could. And I know you kind of can with some surgeries as well, but I'm just like, I don't want to go under the knife unless I kind of have to. So yeah, maybe one day, I'm sure if I do, I will take you guys along with me, but no plans to do anything like that. But yeah, that's kind of it in terms of like filler and stuff, I think. I had temple filler as well. So like when I lost weight and everything here, because you slim out a little bit, and so you like put it in there. You know, not much. Other than that, I'm totally natural. But yeah, guys, I am going to leave it here. As always, I spoke more than I thought I was going to. I think this video is going to be a lot longer than necessarily planned, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully I answered some of your guys' questions. Like I said, if you want me to do another one of these, I feel like I have so much spit in my mouth right now. So as I was saying before I decided to basically just spit all over myself, if you guys do want more videos like this, I can 100% do that. Just let me know either in the comments or by giving this video a thumbs up, because as you guys know, it really does help me out a lot if you guys do just engage with my videos, even if you're bored. Like, if you don't like me, that's like, can I just have a like anyway, or like a little comment or something? Because it really does help, like, not just with me, with anyone. If like you guys engage with our content, then it does help it to get pushed out more. So if you do that, it is always much appreciated. But yeah, let me know if you want more content like this. I'm like slipping off the end of the bed, and hopefully I answered some of your guys' questions. I'm sure some of the things I told you about, there's gonna be a whole lot of new questions, so maybe we could do a part 2. But yeah guys, I'm gonna leave it here for now. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you do want to see more of me, because I upload all the damn time. But apart from that, that is it from me. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.